So in the previous episode, this is not a series, but I called it episodes. Well, if it has episodes, it's series, right? So in the previous episode, I talked about how can you get money and say, well, you can either be an employee, great employee, or and you simpler, more safe, or you can be a business owner, kind of riskier, mm, less probable you will succeed, but if you do, then it's great. Um, what I do, well, I kind of do a mix of both. I work as a freelancer and I'm working my own projects. I'm a software developer. I write apps basically for Android and Linux. So that was all about how to get money, right? And then you say, well, I get money. I have money. How can I spend it? Well, that's easy, right? Well, yeah, but how can I spend it in a kind of meaningful way, at least in a non stupid way? And you say, well, it depends on your needs, it depends on what you are, and who you are, and what your kind of goals are. And in my case, it would be kind of a renting an apartment, that would be kind of a must, buying food, that's of course a must again, paying electric bills, services like internet access, and maybe buying some clothes, right? Basic stuff you may want to do. Okay, and maybe if you want to develop a business in the side, even if you're an employee, you can kind of invest in that business. Okay, so apart from that, I will kind of suggest you to not don't spend that much on stuff that you don't really need. It's okay to go out with friends, drink some alcohol and have a great time, or go to a restaurant and eat something nice. But you shouldn't do that very often, because if you do that very often, you will kind of fall fall into a vicious circle, and that's not good. I would say do it as escape, but not as a routine, right? So as a routine, you may want that's what I want. So you may want to have a simple life. You may want to have a controlled, simple life, in which sometimes you have a lot of enjoyment and excitement, but sometimes you are just feeling great with the simplicity of your life, right? And this is more like related to kind of emotional balance as well. So having emotional balance is very important, even though sometimes I would say, ah, that sucks, I don't care about that, but it's actually important. Feeling good with yourself, it's great. It's very important. You've got to know yourself better, improve yourself by having experiences and learning from them, and always have these kind of mindset of I can accomplish a lot. I can get through this problem. I can fix this, and I can feel better. And the thing is, it depends on what you know. I would say learn, read, not really books. You can go Google, right? That is the best way. So people sometimes say read books. Well, that's okay, but I would say go to Google and ask Google stuff that's relevant to you in that time, and figure it out, learn about it. Then you will kind of be navigating to the subtopics of it and relating things to it. So that's kind of a learn exercise. Do that. Try to do that every day, at least 20, 30 minutes a day. That would be okay. So, how to spend money better? So it depends on your goal. It depends on how much money you have. It depends on who you are. But my personal kind of advice is spend in building a very enjoyable and simple life. So you will have to figure out what that means for you. because that is very different between people. So for you, it may mean, okay, let's try to build this business on the side. This I want to be a freelancer. I want to write websites, and this is the future of my career. Maybe because I will get fired. Okay, it's a kind of plan B. And do that on the side. Don't stress on that. So just keep going and be consistent and do it at least a tiny amount of time, but do it every day, right? So imagine the things that you do it every day are the things that define who you are, even if you do it a small amount of time. So I say it's okay to go out and drink, not very often. That's because that doesn't define who you are. But if you go out and drink every day, that will define who you are. Okay? So let's go do exercise every day. 20 minutes, not a lot, light exercise, I would recommend you. Even just walk, right? Walk 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day. Or do some more substantial exercise, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. But do it every day. That's very important. So that's kind of what you want to do. You kind of feel better. And you also, apart from this, you also have to reserve a time of your week, at least once a week, to think about your life, where I'm walking to, where I'm moving towards, right? And say, well, that's great. I would like this part of my life. I could change this a bit. Well, why I'm doing this? Can I change the whole thing? Yes, you can. That's the whole point of it. That you will figure out better ways of living as you learn. But you have to have this sort of weekly, at least I'd say, weekly hour of thinking about your life. How can you improve it better to be better? How can you feel better with it? And that's very important. I mean, what I'm saying is because literally that activity is the single most important kind of thing that most people struggles with. So think about it. Did 1 hour of thinking every week. Maybe be alone, walk, eat something. Uh, have your alone time to being alone. Kind of 1 hour thinking about you, about what you want to get, where do you want to get, how do you want to get there, how you can change your plans. It's okay to change your plans. It's better to change your plans because you have something better, right? So that's basically it. And when you have that, when say, well, that's okay, I will try to do this, and if it doesn't work, then I'll try something new, go back to the previous or whatever the case may be. I would say try something new. Uh, yes, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. The internet is an awesome tool. You can get lots of information. Just have to be curious enough and contrast information between different sources and between different moods of you. Because if you search something today, you will feel one way. If you search the same thing tomorrow, you will feel a different way. So contrast those things kind of in a couple of days time frame, because sometimes you get very excited about one thing and the next day, well, say, well, this is stupid. Why did I get excited about this? You know, that happens to me a lot. So I found something awesome that, well, this is great, let's do it. But then say, why? Why did I get excited about it? So that's why you should try a lot of things. Because this is great, let's do it. Then, wait a minute, let's search for something even better. And not one, let's 5, 10 things. And then you actually, of those 10 things, there may be 3 or 4 or more that actually are great, right? So life is about finding. Sometimes you find stuff that you don't expect. Sometimes you have to search for it. Go search for awesome ways of thinking. Bye.